Welcome to my channel, Blissfully Single Bean. My name is Bean, and I'm your blissfully single one. I'm your blissfully single one who is headed to bed soon, which explains my head wrap and the flannels. I'm ready. She ready. But before going to bed, I really wanted to review Real Housewives of Atlanta. It was giving me. It was feeding my soul. I felt it in my spirit. It did start off a little bit slow, granted, but it really did pick up steam. I very much enjoyed it. The episode picked up from where it left off last week, which is with Nene sauntering in. I mean, she is here. She is here. And the ladies were like, just basically crickets. They basically ignored Nene, and Nene sauntered her way to go sit down next to somebody. They continued on with the conversation about Kenya and the whole engagement flub. But thankfully, they segued into how beautiful the moment was. And it really was a beautiful moment. The ladies end up dispersing. And when I tell you, the other girls were like, most of the girls were like, Mimi, boom. When I tell you those girls left with road runner speed, yes, they did. The only one of the ladies that hung around was Candy and Nene chit-chatted. And Candy mentioned, ironically enough, the only one of these ladies that Nene has an in with is Candy. The other ladies they're not checking for Nene like that. The ladies end up going from that rooftop to a really nice carnival. No, actually, it was a pre-carnival. It was at night. When I tell you, it was absolutely lovely. You know, Brooklyn people, it reminded me of Juve. It did. But the comparison stops at it being a pre-carnival, a carnival that people go to at night before the main one the next morning. Yeah, that's where the comparison stopped, because that pre-carnival in Toronto, it looked clean. It looked safe. It looked like you can go to that carnival in Toronto now and actually get back home to your family without a bullet in the skull. I mean, Brooklyn people, do not stone me, but please do not act like I am lying. All right? They enjoyed that moment. Really lovely moment. A few girls head back to Nene's room. And when I say a few of the ladies, it's Candy, Marlo, and thirsty ass Yvonne. So Nene was just talking about how weird the energy was when she came in. Candy did mention, well, you did come in at an awkward moment. We were talking about the whole Kenya flub. And Candy was like, I really can't believe she did that. I was trying to talk to Kenya just to let her know how wrong it was. And Nene was like, well, did you tell Kenya how wrong it was for what she did to Marlo? Nene, did you tell Kenya? She was sitting right there. Girl, go ahead with it, all right? Tanya, knock, 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 joins in and, comes to sit her happy behind down. And Tanya's like, hey, I came to visit you guys. And you, Candy, Miss TMZ. Yeah, you got her there. And Candy was like, what? What? TMZ? Yes, Candy. TMZ, like, Candy girl, I really do love you, but please stop acting like you don't go running be telling that, because you really do be carrying bones. But we just like you, Candy, so we don't really put you on blast like that. But Tanya sure did. And that was funny. So they were going back and forth. Candy asks Nene if she's going to address some of the issues that she has in the group, and Nene says something. I'm just not feeling Nene this episode. I don't like her. I haven't liked her in years. I think she is, for lack of a better phrase, quite disgusting. I think she looks disgusting. I think she acts every bit of disgusting. I just don't, my vibe is, no. Candy asked Nene about Cynthia's letter going to the blogs. And Nene said, well, in her confessional, my name is Leaks, but I don't be leaking. Let me tell you something. I mentioned in my last review that I used to really love Nene. And one of the things I loved about Nene were confessionals, because she could read in a confessional. I used to be in stitches. But yeah, I don't know if it's because I don't like her anymore, but now her confessionals are really flat. Or maybe, she's just over it or not giving it the 1-2. But Nene just tried to paint the picture that maybe it was Kenya that planted the letter to the blogs. Kenya, Big Bird. Nene, I know you're tall, but your arms, they're really like 8 feet long, because that's a stretch, honey. I'm not Kenya. And then Nene says that there was a time in the night when the letter was missing, and that could have been the time that Kenya picked it up. And so, Nene, no, nobody believes you. Go sit your big bird looking ass somewhere because no, we don't see it. We think it was you. Next day, the lady's significant others call. Dennis is talking to Porsha. Candy is talking to Todd. And then in the part that made me particularly sad, Kenya was talking to Brooklyn and not Mark. But I mean, it's nothing that I'm surprised about, judging by what we've seen so far in the season. But yeah, I can still be sad for Kenya, and I am sad for Kenya. And I personalized that moment too, because when I was with my children's father, I had that conversation with him because I travel a lot for work, and I used to see my coworkers while we're on the road. The husbands are calling, the wives are calling, and there was a sense of loneliness there because nobody was calling me, and I felt sad and I felt alone. So seeing Kenya on the phone with Brooklyn and not Mark, it hit a little bit of a raw nerve, and I was sad for her at that moment. We switch over to the costume shop, and honey, Tanya Tanya is goals, honey, goals. Tanya actually had a friend of hers make the costumes that the girls are going to be wearing to the carnival. Who's got that kind of clout, honey? Tanya said, these are the haute couture of costumes, honey. I said, yes! You got that kind of clout? Honey, Tanya, call me. I need you to set up a workshop. Because really, I'm trying to be as fabulous as you, Tanya. I really am. So the girls are trying out their costumes. Candy comes out in her costume. Honey, you give me fever. Candy look good. When did this transformation happen? Because I remember there was a time on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Again, I'm not body shaming. I'm just saying what I've seen over the years. Candy got really pudgy. I feel like after she had the baby, her body went to boom, bang. Her butt looked really good. Her tummy she looked really nice. And then in that scene, she had on a really dark burgundy lipstick. So it kind of popped with the silver ensemble she had on. Candy, you were given. Then Marlo comes out in her costume. And again, I'm not body shaming anyone, but there was a lot of butt cellulite when Marlo turned around. And I'm saying that because I just wasn't expecting that. Marlo was always in the gym. She takes real good care of herself. And she hasn't had babies. Girls, I've had 2 babies. Like, my stomach is like, Sabine, bikini. But don't you... Girl, don't you dare put on that bikini. So I understand how your body changes. But Marla hasn't had any kids for her body to look like that. Maybe I'm being ignorant. I'm sorry if I'm coming off as a mean girl. I really don't. I just did not expect the cellulite. I didn't. Tanny said, Yvonne, are you going to try on your costume? And Yvonne was like, I would try it on, but I'm bushy down there. I didn't need to hear that, Yvonne. Yvonne is so pressed and corny. Nene comes in, hey, everybody, and the energy is just flat. Flatlining, just a really flat energy. And it kind of it takes me back to Married to Medicine, if you guys watch. Remember that period where Mariah left for a couple of seasons, and then she came back, and the girls were like, why is you here? Like, every scene Mariah came into, it was flat. The other ladies did not have anything for her. That kind of reminds me of that. Like, Nene has a kind of desperate energy to me, and it's like, yeah, the girls are not. Yeah, they're not feeling it. So Cynthia really wasn't feeling it. Cynthia was like, you know what? This is my time to peace out because I'm here and I may be amongst the snake. And I have to say, producers, editors, whoever you are, guys, cutting things up, this was a point of genius in the episode. Because when Cynthia was talking about the snake, they pan over to Cynthia talking to someone and Nene kind of in the background. So looking at that scene there, Nene looked like a snake. Job well done. So Cynthia got the hell out of Dodge. Like, Cynthia was not trying to hang out. So then Nene says, May I speak with you, Eva? So Eva, gives Nene the floor, and Nene says, I just came here because I really want to own, whatever I did to you, but I just don't know. I just don't know what the issue is. And here's my thing. Nene's probably one of the most self-centered people I've ever seen in all of reality TV show history. And that's saying a lot. I watch a lot of bullshit TV. But I will say, on top of her self-centeredness, she lacks a self-awareness when she hurts people. She does. She never knows what she does wrong, and that is absolutely aggravating to me. And what that shows me is that you're a narcissist who doesn't care about anyone's feelings. So you can basically do whatever you want, but you never owe anyone an apology because nothing you do is wrong. Is that right, Lenithia? So Eva had to explain to Miss Leaks exactly where she felt hurt and where she felt betrayed. Eva was in a very vulnerable place last season. Eva wanted to have a conversation with a friend without a mic on. Nene didn't give her that. Nene went sauntering over to Eva to talk to her with her mic on. That's a very compromising position to put somebody in. You seem very snake-like, Miss Leaks. Eva says when she tried to talk to Nene about it, Nene didn't receive it. Instead, Nene blocked her. And Nene was like, unfollowed. Same difference, bitch, okay? Which is what Eva said without using the bitch terminology. Anyway, they go back and forth for just a bit, but I did notice that it took about 2 seconds for Eva to accept Nene's apology. And I'm like, that's all well and good, but how do you trust Nene? How do you trust Nene that she's not going to do some underhanded stuff like that again? And I say this only because I've seen time and time again when Nene will draw somebody in, call them friend, and do some underhanded nonsense. Eva, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Keep your eyes wide open with Nene. I wouldn't trust her as far as I can throw her big bird ass. So the ladies head over to the CNN tower because apparently Toronto has this big behind tower. Oh, I can't wait till I go to Toronto. Guys, I'm going to Toronto for work late March, and seeing this episode, I cannot wait to go. I may take an extra day over there just to go sightseeing because it looks like a very lovely city. I've actually been to Toronto before. I have been, but unfortunately, I was so pissy ass drunk that I didn't remember anything. The only thing I remember from my trip to Toronto were bright flashing lights. We barely made it through customs because I was passed out back into Buffalo. But anyway, they go to the CNN tower, and then Tanya was explaining. So Toronto is home to the CNN tower, and what we're going to do a tower walk high. And the ladies were like, say what now? Tower walk. They had to go high on this tower and go outside and walk on the edge of the building. They drive up to the CNN tower. Child, they look up. Girl, it could, oh dear. It could never be me. I developed this pesky fear of bridges. I don't know where it came from. I was never afraid of heights. Child, a chick like me would drive from Brooklyn to Virginia on a vacation with my family and back. Not this Sabine. Not 41-year-old Sabine. You won't catch me on that high behind building. They go upstairs, and whoever it was, the moderator said they have two options. They can either stay inside or they can go outside and participate in the edge walk. So most of the ladies did agree to do the edge walk with Candy's daredevil behind being the first. Girl, I like your swagger, Candy. You ain't never scared. Never scared. So most of the ladies do end up doing that and deciding to do that. And you see different scenes of different ladies talking about Nene and Eva making up. They pan over to Kenya in the confessional. I guess somebody must have asked her, do you think Nene is trying to make up with the girls? And Kenya was like, of course she's trying to make up with the rest of the ladies. She's on her little rusty island all over there. She has to. And then they put up the friendship chart. Y'all watch Wendy Williams on when he puts up the chart and she takes out her big pointer and they put up the chart where Kenya proceeds to X out all of the ladies that Nene done did wrong. Oh, child, had me in stitches. Most of the ladies do end up going up on the edge again, except Nene and Eva. And honey, the girls are scared. This is the ladies, because they had these ropes they had to hold on to because they were attached to this high whatever. I think they were attached to the side of the building. And these are ladies. Porsche like, I'm scared. Kenya was like, yeah, ooh. Cynthia was like, I don't think it was a good idea. No, it wasn't a good idea. Nah, y'all should have been in there eating and drinking. Kenya mentions that she hopes that nobody knocks her over. I said, word, girl? You better stay away from Marlo then. They do this dreadful, simply dreadful looking activity called Toes Over Toronto, and you have to turn around and then bend back over. Child, no. Candy, of course, was the first one to do it. Girl, no. You know, if I would have gotten up there, I would have passed out. Point blank, the period. I would have gotten up there, my vertigo would have hit. Man, I was slumped over. All you would see was a slumped over bean just hanging over the city of Toronto. I mean, but it looked like, and I have to say this because Tanya did mention, these moments are really kind of like a once in a lifetime. So get over your fears and do it. That was a good pep talk. Still don't know if that would be me. Doubt it. They pan over to Eva and Nene talking. And, you know, Nene mentions that, she's always looked at Porsha like a little sister, and she really wants to have a conversation and make up for Porsha, but Nene has to mention that she's been wronged because she hasn't wronged anybody in the whole history of the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise. Girl, sit down. She felt betrayed when Porsha released the text messages that she sent, and Nene likened it to revenge porn. Girl, Nene, did you go to college? I mean, your argument may make sense, except one is illegal, one is not. Girl, sit down with all of that. Eva was like, is there any way you guys can work things out and see? She was like, no. Nene was like, no. I mean, I'd like to work things out, but, it's like two lovers quarreling, and I send you something, and then you send it to everyone. Everybody was accusing me of fat shaming a pregnant woman, and Eva was like, well, it did kind of come off, and Nene throws in the shade that, well, Porsha was fat before she got pregnant. Bitch, really? What boggles the mind is that somebody who looks like Nene thinks she can throw shade about another woman's looks. Nene, let me tell you something. You cannot talk about people's size. You cannot talk about people's faces. You cannot talk about people's intelligence. Girl, are you crazy? Bitch, let me tell you something. You Bullwinkle the Moose looking hoe. Let me paint a picture for you. Porsha can gain about 350 pounds. Porsha can have noticeable difficulty walking and breathing at the same damn time. And let me tell you something about that. Porsha could be on her very worst day walking the face of this earth, and you'll never look as good as Porsha. All right, Nene? Nene's nerve is absolutely incredible. Porsha was never fat before the baby. Porsha was thick in all the right places. I don't care if Porsha weighed a ton. Girl, you are no Porsha. Nene, in order for Nene to take a picture to look even somewhat normal and passable, even to look slightly soft and pretty, bitch, you need to Photoshop the hell out of a picture just to look, all right. Don't do it. Don't do it, Big Bird. word. Don't do it, Bullwinkle the Moose. Don't do it, Gonzo. Don't do it, Nene. Nene makes me sick to my stomach. She makes me sick to my stomach because she's inherently mean. How are you having a conversation with Eva about trying to mend fences with Porsha, but you throwing shade about Porsha's weight? Girl, you got all the nerve. Play the tape back. Really? Nene, that's the word? Batch. Ladies head back to the hotel room. No, I'm sorry. They head back to... I'm sorry. They're in the bus on their way, headed back to the hotel. And Tanya mentions, we're going to have a cocktail hour. And, it's family. It's really a family party. We're going to have a cocktail hour around 7 o'clock. And, you're all invited, of course. And it sounds like a really great time. Ladies head back to their hotel room to get ready. Porsha's in her room doing her makeup thing. Porsha gets a fresh delivery of flowers with a note from Dennis that says, "Doggone it, I'm sorry." Get it, dog? Honey, he's a dog, all right. But Porsha said, "That's too soon." Get it, doggone it? He was in the doghouse. I mean, that's too soon. But she was clearly flattered by the flowers, and it's apparent that Dennis is wearing her down. And in all fairness, listen, Porsha, I don't mean to sound like a cold person. I do understand, he can wear you down. But my only argument is, buying you flowers every single day, calling, giving you your ring back. I don't think it's enough. I don't think he's proved himself enough. I don't think he's reestablished the trust. And as women, the mistake that we make is that we're emotional beings. So it's easy for Dennis to get away with this nonsense because he's preying on your emotional side. That logical side that says, you know what, let me give this time to really figure out if I can trust him. That side that says, he has to work. You have to work very hard to earn my trust, and flowers are not it. That you're not listening to that side. You're listening to the flowers, the doggone it. No, Portia's talking to her sister about the flowers and everything. And I'm just not. I don't like Dennis. Tanya's in her room. Tanya's fiance shows up. Tanya's fiance is very attractive. They make a very nice looking couple. Tanya's fiance shows up with Dennis, and I didn't know Tanya's fiance and Dennis were good friends like that, but they are. And Dennis mentions that he has to go to Toronto and get his family back. I mean, that's all well and good, and I guess that's impressive. But Dennis, you know what would impress me a little bit more? Can I gain a few pounds without you cheating on me? That would be an equivalent of 50 flights from New York to Africa to see me. Just don't cheat on me. Be faithful. Ladies are headed to the rooftop event, and yes, Nene, yes, looking like a big old bottle of mustard. Yeah, yeah, honey, we're gonna come at other people, and you looking like a walking condiment. Yeah, girl. But when they do get on the bus, they play this really cute game where they start imitating people. Kenya started off first. Who was she imitating? Tanya, because she's happy-go-lucky. Imitated Tanya, and then Kenya was like, "You next, Porsha, but you can't do me." I like that Kenya said that because these ladies already had a contentious past, so it's good to keep things on the up and up. So they were all imitating. It was a nice moment because I was watching the screen like this. I was smiling. I was like, "This is so cute." Candy got Kenya and Marla got to a point where they high-fived each other. It was a great moment until it was Yvonne's turn. Then it came to her. Screeching halt. Yvonne chose to do Porsha and essentially make Porsha seem like Porky the Pig or something, always asking people's food. And it was an awkward energy. They flash over to Kenny in her confessional. Kenny was like, Yvonne's impersonation of Porsha, I'm not sure what that is. It was just like a weird energy. And I'll tell you what the weird energy is. Press. You don't know that lady like that. Sit down, Yvonne. That was so corny. Ladies make their way over to the get-together. The ladies sit beside each other, and Tanya's in the middle. And they were talking to Tanya. They want to get to a little bit of her background. What took you from Toronto to here? They were just talking about how remarkably beautiful the city is. Oh, I can't wait to go to Toronto. I think because the event is on a Tuesday. I'm trying to see how I could extend it into a Friday. I'd probably have to take vacation time. But anyway, I'm trying to take an extra day to really enjoy the city, especially the nightlife. But they said, this beautiful city, how did you end up in New York? And Tanya is a nurse. I didn't know Tanya was a nurse. That's a nice flex. But I thought she was in IT, so I'm a little bit confused about that. Tanya, I like you. I like your energy. I need to get to know a little bit more about you. They talk. Kenya, Porsha, and Candy, they excuse themselves from the group to go get some drinks. So they're there. Porsha gets to the bar, and Porsha was like, hey, may I please have a mixed drink with Hennessy? I'm telling you, Porsha, let's hang out, girl. I'm coming to Atlanta. Porsha likes Hennessy? Yes. Porsha, you are a kindred spirit. Is she a Cancer? Because I'm feeling her vibe this season, and I don't know if those are Cancer vibes, whatever. But yes, Porsha. So they're talking, Kenya, Candy, and Porsha, and Kenya was like, I can't believe there would be a snake around us, and they're throwing out some suspects. And Porsha says, well, Yvonne, we've asked Yvonne several times, and I don't think she's a snake. Kenny was like, no. Yvonne, she's giving me snake vibes. Kenya doesn't buy it. Kenya has not eliminated Yvonne from her list of suspects. So on a more serious side, Candy says, if there's a snake amongst us and they're recording everything that we are saying, not good for business. And when Candy said that at that moment, it brought me back to Phaedra and that horrible lie that Phaedra told on her. So I can understand Candy's heightened sensitivity to having somebody who would record the ladies without their knowledge. This is getting messy. But Candy just mentioned that she thinks Yvonne is about to crack. So they made the decision to try and grill Yvonne. Porsha sets up the assignments. Kenya, you're bad cop, of course. Porsha says, I'm bad cop and I'm good cop. And Candy, you don't got to say nothing. You could be the quiet cop. Candy was accused of being TMZ, so I guess Candy will be on the corner taking notes, like trying to figure out. Yvonne goes over to the girls, and the girls start talking to her, but before that, they're trying to ply her with alcohol. And Yvonne, who clearly knows what is up, is like, what is this? What is all this alcohol? What is all these cocktails? Where are your cocktails? Just looking at Yvonne makes me itch. I feel like Yvonne's not a natural fit, and she's trying too hard, and I'm just not here for it. Yvonne, I am so not here for you and your shenanigans. They go over to Nene, Marlo, and Cynthia. And they're conversing for a bit, and Marla goes,
Cynthia, is there something that you want to tell Nene? Come here, Cynthia. Isn't there something you want to tell Nene?
And Cynthia's kind of put on the spot, and Cynthia says, I tried to reach out to you. I just wanted to say thank you. I want to say thank you for the gift and for the note. And Nene was like, yeah. The way that Nene received Cynthia's thank you was fake. It was disingenuous. I feel like it was still a tit for tat. Nene never comes off as sincere to me. She never does, because she never shows vulnerability. And in that scene, that was not it, sis. Cynthia, in my opinion, you really could have kept that thank you, because Nene, I was about to call her Wendell. Wendell is what Nene called Wendy Williams when they were beefing. But anyway, Nene just didn't seem like she was in the space to really receive a thank you from you. Back to Yvonne and the girls. And I must say, I thought Yvonne was going to crack. Yvonne did not crack, honey, under that scrutiny. But Kenya did explain that she herself and the rest of the ladies, they just want to know who's real. They just want to know that everybody in their circle are exactly who they claim to be. Porsha was like, yeah, because nobody wants to be around people, who are fake and will record a conversation. So they pan over to Kenya. They pan over to Kenya, and Kenya's confessional. Kenya's going on and on about Snake. We see you. We know. Yvonne, we know that the snake is you. Kenya said, I can take you and make a high quality handbag. Really, Kenya? You're going to make a handbag out of that picture house? And then Kenya goes, I can't even do it. Kenya girl, you have confessionals this season? Life, honey, and life in abundance, honey, because I'm here for Kenya's silly ass confessionals. Yvonne continues, to play tough chick. First of all, Yvonne is loving the attention. Like, please don't act, Yvonne, girl, please don't act like someone's giving you a little bit of attention and you don't like it. Because she was eating this up in this scene. Honey, she stayed strong. She was not talking. She would not buckle. She refused to say anything. Now, if you notice, Porsha got mad. Porsha was like, for you to know there's a snake, I'm sorry, I was too rough with it. For you to know there's a snake, that is very fake of you. And Yvonne was not budging. She was not flexing. Kenya says, well, is the snake here? Yvonne was like, playing very coy. Kenya, Porsha, Kenya, y'all got a lot more patience than me, because I would have shook her. Like, I would have shook her. But don't play these kind of reindeer games. For you to know there's somebody in this circle. It's an exclusive circle. It's a circle where if certain information gets out, people try and profit by selling stories to the blogs. I think it's highly irresponsible of Yvonne not to call out the snake. I really do think so. And this is not cute. It's not funny, Yvonne. These whole shenanigans is not funny, not cute. Neither is that wig. All right? Not here for it. Tanya gives a toast. And then Dennis comes walking in. He gets on his knees. And I think Porsha and Dennis are about to get re-engaged. So that is it. It was a good episode, honey. It was giving me everything I need. But, of course, the main event, the Kenya, the Nene, brawl for it all, was not on this episode. But it didn't make the episode any less good. It's really gaining momentum. Yeah, it was really good. If you like my video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I write resumes. If you need any resume help, look in the description box. Please check out my blog, blissfullySingleBean.com. My recent post dealing with holiday sadness is pretty cool, and I feel like something a lot of people can connect with, because the holiday season is not the happiest time of year for a lot of people. Thank God that hoe is over. Now, where's my W-2? You guys have a good night. I will catch you in the next one.